Hello and welcome back to the Bears and Lions podcast. I'm Kyle Vaught. Before GPS existed or Google Maps or MapQuest or even cell phones existed for that point, you had to have a level of navigation skills to go on a road trip or, to be honest, any trip. Like, you had to have these navigation skills and this memory to be able to remember key parts. Because even if you met a friend who lived across the city in an area that you weren't really familiar with, you'd have to have your parents call their parents on a landline, because that's how old I am. And they'd say, hey, we can get to this point, but after that, we're not really sure. And they'd say, oh, we're not really far. Just keep going down that road. You're going to see a red barn on the right, and then you're going to take a left, and down that road, you're going to take two rights and a left at the house with a garden gnome in the yard. And then we're on that street. Just down a little ways to the left, you're going to see a gray 1985 Chevy truck in the driveway. We're really looking forward to seeing you. Bye. And that was it. You had to figure it out from there. Like, it's not like today where you just put in the address on the GPS and you go the direct route. No. This, you had to have the memory and the skills to, okay, I think it's this. I think he said left at the red barn. No, it was right at the red barn. No, it was left at the red barn. Okay, cool. Was it two lefts and a right? I can't quite remember. I know he said gray truck. That looked like a gray truck back there. Maybe it was that house. Maybe we passed it. Maybe we're not sure. We couldn't just call him on a cell phone and say, hey, where are we at? I can't really find you. No, like, you actually had to have navigation skills. And I do think that we miss out nowadays on all the fun stories or the fun arguments and the things like, oh yeah, I went up to this house because there was a gray truck in the driveway, knocked on the door. Somebody else came to the door and they were like, who are you? And I realized that's a Ford F-150, not a Chevy. My bad. And so, like, we had all these fun stories, but that's what life is like. Life isn't like the GPS on your phone that you type in what's the most direct route to success or direct route to the dream job or the dream things that I want to go after. It's just not. It's more like you have to remember certain key details and you have to figure it out. And that's what I want to talk to you today about, is navigating the journey and navigating to the destination. Because I know they say, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But what I've learned is that everybody is on a journey to a destination of sorts, right? Maybe it's a promotion at work, or maybe it's graduation, or maybe it's getting married or buying a house. And sure, the journey is going to have all these fun stories and hardships and traffic jams and detours and things along the way where we learn skills. And yes, we're going to share those stories with our kids and grandkids. However, the destination is what determines the journey. Because think about it. If you know you want to go out west, like you're Lewis and Clark, you know we're going west. You may not know exactly where you're going, but you know we're going west. Like, that is the desire. That is the point. We're going west. That's the direction. You have a understanding of your destination. Like, that's kind of nice. And there's so much freedom in knowing that too. Like, even if you just wanted to wander around and say, you know what, I don't really know what I want to do, so I just want to learn as much as I can over the next 2 years, and I want to experience as much as I can. Okay, guess what? That's your destination. The destination is not that you do it at a specific area in life. The destination is that you learn all of those things, or that you take that time and you maximize that time to experience as much, try as much as you can, and learn as many skills as you can. So when you get done with it, it's not that you all of a sudden are at like this physical spot, like, oh, I'm in Kansas now. No, like, you have a destination of mental fortitude or mental navigation. Like, you know how to navigate better, right? Navigation has been reduced nowadays. Navigation has been reduced to just putting it into the GPS and trying to find the most direct route. But the reality is that's just not how life works. Like, it's not for a lack of trying too, because we try to do that all the time. Like, I am guilty of this. I have watched so much content in trying to learn the most direct route to success or likes and follows and a better podcast or that dream car or that dream job or that dream life that I want. But here's the catch. The direct route can get you to a place, but it cannot determine whether it's the right time. Like imagine if I gave you tickets to a concert that's like your favorite band and you looked up the directions to the venue. It's like this really cool venue. And let's just say the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee, because I really love that venue. And you're like, oh, sweet. And so you look up the directions, you hop in your car or you hop on a plane, you fly there and you get to the venue and you realize, oh, the concert's not until next week or next month. It's like, sure, you can get to the right place, but that doesn't mean it's the right time. And that's how life works sometimes, is that you can listen to the content, you can listen to the podcast, you can read all the books, and you can listen to all of the influence that everybody else has on you of what they think is the best thing for you to do to reach your dreams or your success or the best things that you want in your life. But just because you do those things doesn't mean it's the right time. I have done a lot in my life. I'm 36 years old, and I've experienced some really unique things where I actually reached my destination. And it was the greatest thing for a short amount of time because it was the wrong time. And there were things that I pursued so hard that I blew past a bunch of other things in my life. And it was like I was driving 100 miles an hour down the interstate just to get to my destination. And when I got there, there was nothing there for me. There was no people to enjoy it with. And it was kind of lonely and forced me to think about it a little bit harder and think about what I wanted to do. Now, this is the part where, the people who say, oh, it's not about the journey, it's about the destination, or, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. I loved the journey. I loved the journey. And of course, the journey is where there's so many rich memories from, right? There's so many rich friendships that are built. There's rich memories and rich moments of life that just you hold dear to your heart because they're the funny stories or the stories of hardships or skills you learn along the way. But you have to also understand that you can have more than one destination. It's like the people who they try so hard to get this, one dream job, and then they get it and then they're miserable and they're like, yeah, I enjoyed my time so much more when I was chasing after the journey. Well, you can chase after more than one thing. Like you can have a destination that moves because it can move and grow with you. And I know I've gotten to points in my life where I was all about the journey. And I realized that I kind of lost sight of the destination. I lost sight of navigation where I didn't know how to get to the destination, but I was enjoying what I was doing. So I kind of just forgot about the destination of what I really wanted to do or the purpose that I thought that was set upon me or that I wanted to experience in my life and the purpose that I had for my life, whatever legacy I wanted to leave behind. And, I got to this point where it was almost like if you've ever read Homer's Iliad and the Odyssey, Odysseus, the main character, which Christopher Nolan's doing the Odyssey next year. Super excited about that movie, but I digress. There's a point where Odysseus' whole purpose is to get home, a destination. There's a point where he almost gets like put into a trance where he kind of forgets that he has this destination that he wants to go to. We do the same thing in life where we find things that are fun in the moment, or we find, I think this is the right thing to do, and I'm just going to stay here. And we're going to sit in this pocket because it's easy. That's not always the right thing to do because sometimes the destination is what you were always supposed to do. And you weren't supposed to stop. You were supposed to keep going. See, I think we need to learn how to navigate. We need to learn the skills of navigation in life. Kind of like back in the day. I mean, we had these massive road maps, paper road maps. In fact, we had this road map book. I have a bigger family, and we would do these long road trips, and we had this big book of road maps, and like 2 pages would cover an entire state. And so we'd go through one state, and then once we'd get to another, we'd have to flip over to the other state and figure out where we were on the interstate, and then we'd continue on our road trip. And sometimes we'd go through, 2-3 states, and it was a long road trip. But inevitably, we would ask, are we there yet? It's just what we would do. I mean, I get it. It's now I look back and it's like my parents had to have been patient angels with us because we had no sense of time whatsoever. Because it wasn't like they had a GPS where they could just look at their phone and say, oh, our estimated time is 9 hours. Hey, buddy, we're not there yet. It's going to be 9 hours. They would have to say things like, we're on our way still, or we're not far to our next stop. That was something that they would say, because we would have to stop at a gas station or a stop, a one of those rest stops that's along the way, and we would have to figure out where we were, and then we'd get back on the interstate. Yep, we're on the right track. Then we would drive for a little while, and we'd look for signs, and then you would see a sign: X city is 147 miles away, and then you could do math. Oh, okay, so X city is 147 miles. We're going about 70, 75, maybe 80 miles an hour. Okay, so we're about 2 hours away. Okay, cool. See, life is more like that, where we can see signs. And if we know how fast we're going, we can do a little bit of rough math and say, okay, if I continue moving at this rate or at this speed, then my destination should be around here, because we can't calculate for traffic or account for a detour or construction on the roads or the things like that. But we can give a roundabout answer. Now, some trips in some areas are going to take much longer. I can attest to this. 36 years old. I'm a single guy. I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would be single at 36. In fact, all throughout my 20s, my entire dream was to be married and have a kid by 35. And when that didn't happen, I had to go through a kind of a wake-up call in a way. Life didn't happen the way that I thought it would. It's taken a lot longer than I ever thought it would. But that doesn't mean it's bad. And it doesn't mean that I've just been stuck on, the side of the road. I've moved forward. I've gone on detours. And yes, I've gone through moments where I kind of feel like Odysseus, where I was kind of in a trance, where I wasn't really moving at all. But I thought I was happy in the moment. And now I look back, I'm like, man, it would have been nice if I'd been moving forward, because I know that my purpose in what I'm doing now is way more enjoyable than any of that. But I didn't know, so I'm not going to beat myself up over it. But I say this as an encouragement, and I hope it encourages you. We as a society and we as people need to understand and learn how to navigate life. More than just a GPS of, I watched a YouTube, or I watched a TikTok, or my favorite celebrity said, this is how it should work. It's not how it works. We need to be able to navigate for ourselves. And one of the things I've learned is when you know how to read a roadmap, like driving just in general, you can never really be fully lost if you know how to navigate with a roadmap. You can't. Because even if I lose track of my phone and I can't, hook up to the GPS on my car or whatever, I know that I can go to a gas station, buy a map, because they still have them in some places, or go to a rest stop and look at a map and say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I need to be. Sailors back in the day, they used to use the North Star to be the guiding light because it was the brightest light in the sky. And so they would use the North Star as their compass, essentially, and as their direction. So if they needed to go a certain way, they needed to make sure that the North Star was at a certain point in their horizon, whether it was above them or behind them as they were going one direction. All of us need a guiding light. For me, my guiding light is my relationship with God and my relationship with Jesus. And there have been a couple verses lately that have just been a big encouragement to me. One of them, I know I mentioned that I have read through Isaiah, but one of them was in Isaiah 30:21, which I thought was just really awesome, to have direction, to have a guiding light that literally encourages us along the way. It says, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way. Walk in it. I mean, literally, it's like before GPS existed, having a GPS system that says whether it's left or right, you're good. This is the way you should go. And so you can confidently say, okay, is it the left or the right? I'm going to take the right. This is the way you should walk in it. I've got you. I'm with you. There's a verse, Deuteronomy 31, I think it's 31:5. Be strong and courageous in the Lord. Do not be discouraged. Do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you. It's like we can say all these things, but do we actually believe it? Because if we actually believe it, then in life, even though we don't have a GPS system that's going to get us there, we can trust. All right, God, you say you're with me. I'm going to believe you. I'm going to take you at your word. I'm going to trust you. If you said it, I'm going to believe it, and I'm just going to trust you. But the reason why I wanted to bring up navigation and the process of the journey is because I've started reading through 1 Samuel, and I am loving 1 Samuel. But one of the things I noticed is Israel's first king, Saul, was not a patient man. And he asked, are we there yet? Often. He did not have a good sense of time either. And there's a passage that I read this morning, which was 1 Samuel 13. And Saul is the king, and Samuel is the prophet. And Samuel has asked Saul, essentially, hey, wait for me. We're going to offer a burnt sacrifice. Even though the Philistines are attacking you, wait for me. I'll get there at a certain time. Now, this isn't like nowadays where we can hop on a bus or hop on a plane and get there and we know an estimated time. Like, yeah, we're going to get there at this point in time. Samuel can't call Saul on a cell phone and be like, yo, I'm running late. So what ends up happening is it says that Saul waited 7 days, which was the time set by Samuel, but Samuel did not get there. And because the Philistines were attacking Israel, the men were afraid and they began to scatter. So Saul said, bring me the burnt offering and the fellowship offerings. And Saul offered up the burnt offerings without Samuel. And just as he finished, Samuel arrived. No bueno. And Samuel says, what have you done? And Saul said, well, the men were afraid and you didn't get here. So I took matters into my own hands. I did it myself. And Samuel says, you've done a foolish thing. You have not kept the command the Lord your God gave you. If you had, he would have established your kingdom over Israel for all time. But now your kingdom will not endure. The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart and appointed him ruler over his people, which is David, by the way. We're going to get there. Because you have not kept the Lord's command. Now, as an encouragement, this encouraged me. This encouraged me because it helped me understand that I've done this so many times where I've been Saul, where I said, hey, I thought we agreed on a set time. I thought we agreed on a set time when I would get that job or when I would make a certain amount of money. I thought we agreed on a set time, God, when I would get married. And it hasn't happened. So I guess I should do it myself. See, I've done that so many times, and it's encouraging to me because I'm not alone. But what I want to do is I want to be faithful in my waiting. I want to wait for Samuel. I want to wait on the Lord. Because it says, right? If you had, he would have established your kingdom over all time. Now, I'm not saying that God's going to give you a kingdom. But I do believe that those who wait on the Lord are blessed for it. Now, here's the side of it that I want you to understand is waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. There's a navigation piece where you can move towards a destination in the right way. See, Saul could have said, hey, men, don't be afraid. Samuel's coming. Let's gather everything and be ready for when he gets here. He could have done an encouraging thing to the men of Israel and said, it's not going to go terribly. Like, when Samuel gets here, we're going to do the burnt offering. And I believe that God's going to take care of us until then. There's so many things that he could have done prior without being like, all right, we're going to offer the burnt offering and everything's good. What areas in your life do you think that you need to chill on? And just say, you know what? Maybe I don't need to do everything. Maybe I don't need to take this into my own hands. Maybe I don't need to be on the dating apps. Maybe I don't need to be on LinkedIn as much. Maybe I don't need to overwhelm myself with this thought process of, you know, if I don't get this promotion this year, I'll never get it. Maybe the idea is, hey, maybe it's supposed to go to somebody else this year, and that person is going to help me get it next year. We need to learn how to navigate throughout life. We need the skills of navigation. Whether we want to admit it or not, we need a guiding light, a North Star that helps us understand where we are in time and space so that we can reach our destination and not just be there at the right place, but be there at the right time. And that takes a guiding light that's bigger than us, a purpose that's bigger than us. For me, it's Jesus, and it's my relationship with God. And I would encourage you, if you don't have a relationship, and if it's not real to you or interesting to you, I would love to have a conversation with you. Follow me on Instagram. It's at Kyle_Vaught. I would love to have a conversation with you. Doesn't mean I'm going to convince you. My goal is not to convince you. My goal is to love on you and ask questions and let you think about things on your own. And if you come to that conclusion, that's awesome. I'm always going to be here to encourage. But when you're going through life, maybe you're in the middle of that. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Don't fall into the trap. Yes, the journey is awesome. Yes, enjoy it. Yes, learn from it. But it's about the destination. You still want to go and move forward and learn and get to the point where you want to be. Otherwise, you're just wandering and you're not moving towards anything in particular. And you can get average at best at a lot of different things instead of becoming an expert at one or two things that you're going for. And I don't want us to be average. I want us to be experts in our own fields. I want you to be an expert communicator. I want you to be an expert physician. I want you to be an expert spouse. I want you to be an expert parent. Whatever your expertise is in, I want you to be an expert in it. I don't want you to be mediocre. We are called to be incredible and do incredible things. And I believe that you can do incredible things. So if you're in a point in life where you're saying, are we there yet? It's taking a lot longer. What can you do right now? Is there anything that you can do right now? Do you have the skills of navigation where instead of going directly through the city, knowing that you're going to hit traffic, you understand, oh, I can actually go around the city and save myself some time and heartache? What are some of the things that you can do? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, if you have the skills of navigation, you can never truly be lost. It's just not something that can happen, because no matter what, if you have that North Star, you can always look up and say, I know the direction I'm going. That's going to do it for this conversation. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful rest of your week. Thanksgiving is happening next week, and I'm so excited. I think it's next week. Yeah, I can't wait for Thanksgiving. That's going to do it for this conversation, though. So come back next time. Make sure you hit the like, follow, share this with somebody, maybe somebody who's on the journey and not really focused on the destination right now. I hope that each of you have a wonderful rest of your week. Remember to give grace, show love, and as always, stay stellar. Peace.